even is the Bee movie? There's so much to unpack, and honestly, I can dive into how absolutely insane this film is for hours. Maybe I'll make a more in-depth video on how insane the Bee movie is one day, but for today, I want to focus on Ken, who in my opinion, is the most sane and relatable character in the entire movie. As we were all growing up, we were gaslit into thinking that he was the bad guy. But if you take a step back and really think about it, Ken is actually the victim in this situation. Realistically, who wouldn't crash out after everything he went through? In this video, I'll break down why Ken's crash out is 100% valid in my opinion and why Vanessa is insane. I think the biggest thing to point out when it comes to Ken's situation is that he's literally allergic to bees. And yet his girlfriend Vanessa chooses a bee over him. A bee who, let's not forget, has a lifespan of just a few weeks. How is that even an option? For one, it's weird and literally makes no sense. Also, Vanessa says something that really blows my mind. She tells Ken that Barry the bee is the nicest bee she's ever met in a long time. Like, girl, how many bees are you meeting and having conversations with? To me, that was such a major red flag, and if I was Ken, I would have immediately left. But that's not the worst part. It does get worse. Vanessa casually mentions that she let Barry use Ken's razor. That's not only disgusting, but it also shows just how little she cares about Ken's allergies. She's literally putting him at risk by allowing a bee to use his personal items. And she says it like it's not a big deal. Where's the respect for Ken's boundaries? On top of that, there are so many other red flags that Vanessa has. First, and the most obvious, is the whole attraction to a bee thing. It's right in front of Ken. His girlfriend is literally attracted to a bee. Like, look at the way she stares at it. Then there are the moments that shows how little Vanessa respects Ken. For example, the scene where Ken is excited about his resume brochure that he worked hard on. He's so proud of it. And Vanessa just tears it up for no reason other than to kill a bee. She could have used the cup that she already had the bee trapped in, or she could have just rolled up the brochure and swatted it with it. But instead, she decides to tear it up, and in the process, she disrespects Ken's hard work. This moment says a lot about Vanessa's character. She doesn't even try to respect the effort Ken put in. And it wasn't even about the resume. It was about the fact that Ken cared about it, and she couldn't even be bothered to show a little empathy. Imagine how invalidating that must have felt for him. At this point, I really don't know why Ken stayed this long in a relationship. Vanessa is completely dismissive of his feelings, and it's clear that she's emotionally invested in someone who isn't even human. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Ken is perfect. He has his flaws. He has anger issues, and he could have definitely communicated better. But when you're in a relationship where your partner is emotionally cheating on you with a literal bee, I think anyone would be upset about that. And then for him to be gaslit into thinking he's the crazy one, that's just a whole new level of manipulation. All of this is why I feel that Ken's crash out is completely valid. Looking back on it as an adult, I totally get why Ken snapped. As a kid, I sided with Barry, but now that I'm older and have a fully developed frontal lobe, I see things differently. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Was Ken's crash out valid? Comment your thoughts down below and subscribe for more content like this.